Hi guys, hello everyone. Hope you can hear me and see me okay. I'm super happy to be here with you today and spend those 20 minutes. Uh, Hi guys, hello everyone. I'm very happy and grateful to have those 20 minutes now to speak to you about pricing and why I believe pricing is important. 15 seconds about myself. Uh, I'm Maciej. I've been doing pricing for 15 years. Now I'm a partner at Movens Capital. We are a VC here in Poland. So speaking to you about pricing, I will speak both from a perspective of a pricing consultant and advisor, but also from the perspective of being a partner at the VC. So what I want to prove to you is, one, that pricing is the best justification for your product market fit. Second, that you should spend more resources on this topic and it will be beneficial for you. And third, I want to give you quick rules on how to optimize your pricing. Obviously, ask me questions during the session. I will try to answer those. If not during the session, I will try to do it later. So what I've seen over those 15 years, speaking to really like hundreds of startups, is that they don't spend a significant enough amount of time on pricing. They set their pricing on instinct or without any research, and they don't review it over time. And what I really see is that startups wait until the last moment in their product development process to think about monetization. I think it's totally wrong. And they think, especially the IT people, they think that monetizing a new product or offering is viewed as unsavory, dirty, or detrimental to true innovation. Again, there is nothing that can be further from the truth. And for some reason, I've seen that asking product developers to think about pricing and willingness to pay infringes on their creativity or something. So bollocks again. So I just want to show to you how much time on average startups spend on pricing versus other things. This is data from one of the surveys, global ones, 1,500 startups, and they were asked how much time they spent on different topics. So basically what they said is that they spend more time picking out their toilet paper than they spend on pricing. And the other big mistake is that they hardly ever change it. So on average, they adjust their pricing every 2 or 3 years. So imagine how the market changes, how your competitors change, how your product changes. Definitely changing your pricing every 2 years is not an optimal approach. And just to prove to you that it really makes sense to spend time on your monetization strategy, retention, and pricing, this is another data showing that companies that continually work on their pricing innovation, they reach significantly higher LTV to CAC ratios than any other companies. Companies that have a professional pricing function, they get way higher valuations. There's a lot of data about it. So I want to encourage you to build this muscle. Pricing is a process and it should be a continual effort. And you don't have to do everything in one go, but you should really have a process on how to test and verify how those what pricing models work best for you. And another proof why it's important, I don't know how many of you have read the book of Tim Ferriss, Tools of Titans. Then he has an interview with Mark Andreessen. You all know Mark Andreessen. And he asks Mark, if you could have any billboard anywhere in the valley, what would you put on the billboard? And Mark says that he would put raise your prices as a main message for the startups. And what he says that there is this wrong perception that you should be cheap, then get the market share and increase your pricing. And it hardly ever works. And so then you have this problem that's called too hungry to eat. And I strongly encourage you to avoid this fallacy. Again, this is an excerpt from Sequoia, showing that a lot of startups, they just think about charging more than your cost to serve. The problem with the approach is that you don't really capture the entire willingness to pay that your customers might have. So this is, a couple of examples why pricing is crucially important. And I also see it when when a lot of startups pitch to our VC that they have no clue on how to quantify and monetize the value they deliver to their customers. And usually I say that pricing is a tool, like a hammer. So with a tool, you can do different things. You can try to optimize for different things. Obviously, you can optimize for growth, or for profit, or for market share, or for something else. So with your pricing tool, you can try to achieve your objectives, but you need to know what you actually want to achieve. And the beauty about pricing for SaaS and technical businesses is that you can do a lot of things at the same time. It can help you to get customers. It can help you to boost or monetize your customer base, or it can help you with the retention. Obviously, a lot of startups, they think that the most important part is getting customers. And this is where the money is. Actually, this is not true. Obviously, acquisition is important, but the real battlefield is how to monetize your existing customer base. And this is where you should put definitely most of your attention, not only on customer acquisition, because then you have the new cohorts that have very low retention rates, and then you're burning fuel and not getting any way further with your business. So spend more time with monetizing your existing customer base and using pricing as a tool to both acquire customers, to monetize customer base, and to work on your retention. A very important topic is to select the right pricing metric. A right pricing metric is what you charge your customers for. And what I see is probably a rule of thumb, 8 out of 10 companies, they have this per user pricing. And I would say that in most cases, it makes absolutely no sense. Charging per user does not allow you to capture and monetize the value you deliver to your customers. Of course, if you were selling shoes, charging per pair of shoes would make sense. But most of you don't really sell shoes. So having additional users doesn't really bring additional value to your customers. So you should search for a better pricing metric. So what you charge for. And a quick test for selecting the right pricing metric would be, it has to align with the customer's value. So where they see value in what you provide, it needs to allow you to have this long-term growth. This is one of the problems with the user-based pricing. Usually there are 2 or 3 users on your customer side, and then it's, even though the company sees more value using your product, there is no option that you can charge them more, because they don't need more users. It has to be predictable. So you have to be able, you and your customers, to measure it in an objective way, and it has to be transparent. So usually I spend most of my time working with startups on selecting the right pricing metrics. So this is the one thing that I would encourage you to spend time on. So what you actually charge for. The other thing you need to work on is to work on your value argumentation. Again, a lot of tech businesses, they focus on features. They don't focus on benefits. Remember, your customers, they don't care about your features. What they care is what's in it for me. And so here is one example. Obviously, one very famous example is how Apple managed to translate 1 GB of storage into the number of songs. Obviously, it's already outdated, but hopefully you get the message here. So translate or help your customers understand the value you deliver, and then put the price tag on that. This is super important. Here is an example how Slack would do it. They show to the customers on how much Slack helps you to reduce your internal email, and this you can translate into time saved, happiness of your employees and stuff like that. So figure out how you can argument the value and quantify the value you deliver. So this is my first recommendation, or my second. The first one is work on your pricing metric. Second, help your customers to understand and quantify the value you deliver. And obviously, within 20 minutes, it's difficult to give a pricing formula, but I will try to give you one. So the pricing formula that I would encourage you to apply is the 10-5-20 rule. So 10 means you need to deliver 10 times the value of the price that you charge. So basically, your rate should be 10% maximum. Second, increase your price in 5% increments in consecutive periods of time until you get to the moment when you get 20% pushback. So 20% of your customers would get back to you saying, you know, we would love to use your product, but unfortunately, you know, it's just too expensive. And it means that then, you know, you go to your optimal pricing. If all your customers are happy with your pricing, the obvious conclusion is that you are too cheap. We've got 2-3 minutes left. So if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer those. If you want to get more about pricing, I would recommend to you to visit our Medium profile, where we publish a lot about monetization and pricing strategies for startups. The other thing I would recommend you to do is to visit our Movens Capital Academy. It's a series of, in total, I guess, like 7 hours of webinars dedicated to pricing strategies for SaaS tech startups. So I think those would be the best resources if you believe that 20 minutes is not enough to spend on your pricing. So with just 1 or 2 minutes to go, the last thing I want to show you is a slide I usually finish with when a lot of startups would come to me saying, yeah, but there are some cheaper companies in the market. So remember this one pricing rule. There's always going to be someone who will be willing to do it cheaper. Your role is to convince your customers that this is not the choice that they should make. That would be it from my end. If you want to have more discussions about pricing and monetization and retention strategies, reach out to me directly or send me questions in the comments or in the chat bot.